What's going on, everyone? Today we are reviewing the Carrera GO DTM slot car racing set. Pretty awesome set. Not too long ago, wanted to go ahead and record a video of us unboxing this entire set, setting the whole thing up, and actually showing how it works. As you know, on our channel, you'll find a ton of unboxing videos, so make sure you go ahead and like this video and click subscribe, and make sure you turn those bell notifications on, because again, that'll do us a big favor, and also keep us promoted to make sure that we continue to make unboxing videos, traveling videos, and just overall fun videos. So let's get right into it. Thanks so much. Today we are reviewing the Carrera GO DTM Masterclass electric powered slot car racing, and it's for kids with turbo boost. Oh, this is one of the sets that you're definitely gonna love. Definitely have the Red Bull car and the Audi. This is an electrical toy and it's age 6 and up. Again, that is not battery powered. So this is a 143 slot racing system, which is pretty amazing. Ready to race, high speed, action elements, multiple track and options, which is a good thing. And you have some licensed cars. Take a look at the back. You will also see the track layouts, which is pretty cool. And what's this in the box? Again, this is for age 6s and up. This is definitely one thing that you want to take a look at. So opening it up, look inside the box here, see what we have going on here. I want to go ahead and just lay it all out completely. Got the Red Bull and the Bosch Audi Sport. Ooh, very nice. Yep, it comes with a little poster so you can kind of see what danger you could get into. Went ahead and laid out the entire track, each piece, so you could take a look at, and we'll go through it one by one. First, you have your 2 cars that comes in, which is pretty amazing. They're pretty light, pretty quick as well. You got a couple of straight tracks. This is actually 2 tracks in one that you put together. You got the counter, your lap counters, which they're pretty decent as far as when the cars are going by. You got your instructions and how to install those loops. Comes with 2 controllers. You have your curved tracks. And you actually have these little pieces here, and this would actually supports the loop as well as supports the embankments. All right, and this is some things that you can actually go into a little bit later if you want to go ahead and upgrade your cars, upgrade your track, and also go digital, which is cool. And this is your starter, which actually houses the plugins for your remotes. You got some extra guides, so go ahead and get the electricity to the car. You got some road corners as far as what you can actually have to make sure you don't flip off, and you got the loop right here which you're going to construct, as well as more straight tracks. And of course right here you will find the adapter, which I'll take out, and this is what actually plugs into the wall, and this what gives your track power. So I wanted to go ahead and start a timer, see how long it's going to take me to go ahead and set this up, and from there we started to build. I want to go ahead and put this in a fast motion because I can't imagine you guys sitting here for the entire time taking a look at me put this together really slow. However, it's a really cool set to put together. The instructions are really detailed. The pieces snap right in, which is amazing. Especially when you're working on a hard surface, just like the floor that we're working on here. You want to make sure that these pieces stick in really good, and there's nothing as far as what gonna go ahead and slide around or anything like that. So right at this point, I'm actually constructing the loop, because the loop is something that's going to give the added wow factor to the track. You want to go ahead and make sure that's all tight in together. The instructions again have it to where it's going on the outer portion of, actually, I'm sorry, the inner portion of the track. So when they go in, they continue on. Now, one thing I would say, it was pretty confusing trying to figure out where exactly to place these braces. A little trial and error, I was able to figure it out. It's pretty much where you see the loop going back and forth a lot, or when starting to separate. So I did have a little bit of trial and error just trying to figure it out. Eventually, I put on 2 pieces. However, later on, I figured out that it was only supposed to be 1 on each loop, because again, they only come with 2 of those brackets. So now there's also a small piece that which connects the straight portion of the track to the outer portion of the loop. It took me a while to figure out exactly where that went. The instructions are not super clear on where to place that. They have the illustration, but again, you have to kind of use your brain when you're thinking about it and say, okay, where would this person go? And also, it's actually in the shape of an H, so you have to slip it through 2 notches on each side and make sure that you get a pretty good connection, so the loop isn't going back and forth, or I'm sorry, not back and forth, but left and right when you have the track and the cars whizzing along. As you can see, it was pretty troubling trying to get this one together, but eventually once you figured it out, then you realize, okay, it's supposed to have this type of distance between the two, which if you're looking at this video, yes, there's going to be a slight gap between where the straight tracks are and the inside portion, or they could be the inside portion of the loop. There's going to be a slight gap to where this little H bracket goes in to keep them together. So continuing on, as you can see, the loop is coming together really nicely. I always want to keep checking out my gaps just to make sure I don't have anything as far as any type of big spaces where the cars may get stuck. Going through each piece, word of advice is again to look on the bottom of each track piece because they're lettered, and that's going to help you big time when you're putting the track together, especially looking at the instructions, so you know one by one where it goes, what goes where, and it's pretty straightforward from here. What I really like about this track is the fact that you can actually make several tracks. This is just a track that was on the back of the box. And I know my kids will have a really fun time playing with what they exactly see on the box, but expansion tracks are out there, and it's actually amazing to do because you can just make this track as big as you possibly want. It doesn't, you're not just set to what comes in the box. That's one thing I like about this particular brand. Everything snaps in really tight. It's really easy to get things, get the tracks separated as well. But in this case here, you're able to buy expansion packs and make the track even bigger and have even more hours of fun. That's my little son right there. He couldn't wait to make sure that he got in and started playing with his track. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is that this embankment that you have over there, this big incline, you want to make sure that the braces that you have are actually on an angle. They're not straight up. So again, they're just supporting this incline to make sure that the track doesn't bend in any type of way. Honestly, the track is well built. It can actually stand alone on its own, but I definitely understand where the designers came in just to put those braces in the back. Now, I would say this, moving around with the brackets for the loop, it is a little bit of trial and error on there, depending on what kind of surface that you're placing it on. In this case here, ours was flat. However, if you're on a carpet or anything of that sort, you have to play around where you may have the left side a little bit higher than the right, or the right side a little bit higher than the left. It just all depends. But again, the whole idea is not to have the loop shaking left and right when the cars are going through. We found when it shakes left and right, it does cause at times the cars to actually fly off. Even though the magnets are pretty strong to keep the cars on, there's a possibility of them flying off. So again, you just continue on the instructions, you're adding the braces all throughout the track just to make sure it's supported. At times you may have to move those braces around a little bit if you feel the track is a little bit wobbly if the cars are going through, especially the car on the outer loop or the outer lane. You may notice that this when the car goes through that lane itself, or it goes through that corner, or goes through that portion of the track, that it may shake the track. So you want to go ahead and just move your brace a little bit, maybe further up to where the corner is, or just wherever you find the most shaking on the track. One thing in the instructions as well, it didn't necessarily show exactly where the the track was supposed to go under the other portion. Now, again, using sight, you kind of can figure it out, especially when you see the design of the track and how it's coming out. You kind of can piece together, okay, I don't think this track is going to go any higher, and especially when you're running out of the brackets or the lifts, what actually keeps the track in place, you'll actually notice like, hey, this didn't go up there, this needs to go below. So from there, you just kind of just eyeball it and go from there. But the instructions, again, you just keep following those, keep snapping things in place, and as you can see, it's all coming together. Now, the one thing I did notice when I was putting this together on a flat, slippery surface like this hardwood floor is that it was moving. It was definitely moving. So I'm not too, clearly this is not going to be the final resting place for this track. It's just something that we placed together just for this illustration as far as this unboxing. However, when you move it to another location, whether it be on a carpet or if you move to another location where you may have some non-stick type of pads or surfaces underneath it, that would make a lot more sense, because again, you know, this track does move a little bit once the cars are going by, and especially if you're moving around when you have the joystick in your hand or the controller in your hand, you may pull a track on accident when you're moving around, maybe to go get the car because it flew off the track, which is another thing we're going to talk about a little bit later. As we put the finishing touches on here, gotta watch those posts, because they will slide out on you. Again, just trial and error and make sure that you have all of the brackets in place to make sure that that loop doesn't go anywhere. Putting on some final the guards on the corners, because you definitely need this. Again, these cars go pretty fast, and what happens, they actually go around this track, around this particular corner here, and they fly right off, especially if you're the car closest to the corner here. That thing's gonna literally fly off. Now, I have noticed that it flies off so fast and with such force that it actually breaks the actual barrier. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is untie the AC cord and get this a little bit closer here. I went ahead and had to get a extension cord for this one, being that the wall outlet was a little bit further out. So at this point, you can see that this took about 57 minutes to go ahead and complete, and here we have it. It is beautiful. I mean, this thing is well put together. I shouldn't say well put together, but it definitely is well made. The cars sit perfectly on the track. You got your start and finish line. You see the overall point of view as far as what they're taking off to, which is amazing. You have the brackets here, which is supporting the loop. You have your controllers. Don't forget about those. Now, I would say one thing, you're going to take out that string once you get a little bit more comfortable, so you could go ahead and press it completely down to get the full speed out of here. But again, it's all about practice, especially flying through these corners. You don't want to hit them at full speed, because you will fly off the track. And that is one thing I would definitely say. You will fly off the track, as my boys are here. They can definitely tell the minute they hit that accelerator, yes, they are flying off the track. And with a little bit of practice, they notice that, hey, you know, when you're hitting those corners, you got to take your finger off the accelerator just a hair, so you make sure you get across that track. Just like there, flew right off, completely off. But as they, you go on and you start to practice a little bit more, you start realizing like, hey, this is not so bad. I could definitely do this. Now, they had a ball here, literally had a ball here. It was more it was definitely more here trying to figure out exactly how to get over the loop. But once they figure that out, to gas it all the way down, get through that loop, and then take it off right before you hit that corner, it's always the best thing. But I would definitely say that kids had a great time when they were playing out here. It does slide out a lot, as you can see here, but again, this is all about the fun and all about the learning curve to make sure that you can get through these corners, through that loop, and start some really good racing for hours of fun. Click that like button, smash that subscribe button, and make sure you turn those notifications on so you know when the next video that we're dropping. Enjoy it. Make all time with family.